All right, that's a big news break that is coming in, viewers, because the Ministry of Home Affairs, and that's the news that we are breaking, has asked several states to conduct mock drills for, in effect, civil defense on the 7th of May. Following measures will be taken: operationalization of air raid warning sirens, training of civilian students, etc., on the civil defense aspect to protect themselves in the event of a hostile attack, provision of crash blackout measures, provision for early camouflaging of vital plants installation, updation of evacuation plans and its rehearsals. This is very big news coming in, viewers. What is clearly the government is anticipating either a backlash of what it has already planned or a military measure which could actually result in a retaliation from Pakistan as well. And the news that we are breaking right now is that the Ministry of Home has asked several states to conduct mock drills for items for effective civil defense on the 7th of May. Following measures will be undertaken: operationalization of air raid warning sirens, training of civilian students, etc., on the civil defense aspect to protect themselves in the event of a hostile attack. And it's pertinent here, viewers, to underline that civilians, students will be trained in civil defense aspects in case there is a hostile attack. Provision of crash blackout measures, provision of early camouflaging of vital plants and installation, updation of evacuation plan and its rehearsal. Big news that is coming in. I want to cut across immediately to my colleague Shivani and Piyush Mishra, both joining us live. Shivani, you know, this is the first tangible news that seemed to have come in from the Ministry of Home Affairs, with seeming to suggest that India is planning something very big and there could in fact be a retaliation involving civilians, students, civil defense, camouflaging installation. All of this, Shivani, is sub-war-like reactions.
Preeti, see, we all know that Prime Minister himself is monitoring the preparedness of the armed forces and we are ready for any kind of action. So this is a drill that has been planned by MHA for several states, and specifically the states that can be closer to the border areas.
Would you give us the states that have been asked to do this, Shivani, first?
See, the specifications about the states has not been given out yet. This is officially that has come, that several states. So what we understand is Jammu and Kashmir will be one of those states. Punjab will be one of those states. Northern India, several states can be in those states where the civil population needs to be educated and sensitized about the seriousness of the ongoing operational preparedness by the armed forces, Preeti. This is important to apprise the generation about any kind of modalities that can take place, any kind of challenges that can be there, for which we need to be prepared, not only the armed forces, but as a civil population also. We should be aware of the warlike situations if it ever happens. So this is a drill where the sensitization and the awareness of the citizens is to be conducted, that if at all we are prepared or we need to retaliate in a warlike condition or a warlike situation, what would be the sirens like, where and how you have to react, where do you keep yourself secure, if there is a total blackout, how we should go about it. So there should be no panic among the citizens. They need to be educated and made aware. So this is just a drill, Preeti. But yes, MHA has indicated in a manner that we need to be prepared in view of the present scenario that's going on.
All right, a drill, at least right now, the 7th of May, it will be a drill. Piyush, I want to bring you in. Any indication coming in from the MHA? Because Shivani says the detailed modalities of the states involved in this drill haven't been given out. But if one can conjecture, it would be, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, even, of course, Delhi and other states in North India. What are your sources telling you from the MHA? What went on at the back of issuing such an advisory?
Well, Preeti, it's important to highlight that these advisories came, the sources within the top government, told us about this decision which has been taken by MHA soon after the meeting which took place between the MHA secretary and PM Narendra Modi. The meeting went on for at least 15 minutes at the Prime Minister office, and soon after that meeting, the sources within the government told us about the MHA asking several states to prepare for the hostile situation. Remember that there are 5 measures on which the MHA is focusing on, and the biggest measure, let me also read out for our viewers, the biggest measure is updation of evacuation plans and its rehearsals. Moreover is of the training of civilians, students on the civil defense aspects to protect themselves in the event of a hostile attack. So these two are these two measures have been given out, keeping in mind the security and safety of our civilians. Remember that throughout the day, Prime Minister has held multiple meetings, beginning with Defence Secretary, and also after Defence Secretary, few officials from Indian Air Force had also met with PM Narendra Modi, and later in the day, we saw Home Minister, MHA Secretary meeting with PM Narendra Modi, and after that, these advisories were issued. This is certainly indicating that yes, India is planning something big, and like we have heard from not only PM Narendra Modi but also from Rajnath Singh that yes, we are going to take firm and decisive action against Pak-sponsored terror.
All right, appreciate you joining us, the both of you. We're going to continue to come back to you, but lots going on in terms of the politics, domestic politics. That's next. Stay with us.
13 days since the chilling Pahalgam terror attack. 26 families and an entire country awaits for retribution. Meetings after meetings, diplomatic strikes. And now the wait for India drawing blood with military action. The politics back home brewing, while the opposition largely united on a quick and never seen before response. Ajay Rai, President Uttar Pradesh Congress Committee, used a Nimbu Mirch jibe, chiding the government to act quickly and not delay.
अब राफेल ले आए, नींबू मिर्च बांधकर खड़ी किए हुए हैं, जो लाए हैं उसका उपयोग कब होगा? कब आतंकवादियों को सफाया होगा? कब आतंकवाद को बढ़ावा देने वाले लोगों को सफाया करेंगे?
Ajay Rai's Rafale comment ended up serving as a propaganda tool for Pakistan, even though Priyanka Gandhi soon after made it clear that the Congress stands with their government. The BJP went all out to attack the Congress.
We support whatever action the government is going to take. In fact, we urge the government to take very strong, decisive action and to take it fast.
कांग्रेस के नेताओं को याद रखना चाहिए कि ये जो इस तरह के मजाक करते हैं, बार-बार इनको कोर्ट में जाकर लताड़ ही मिलती है.
The government had earlier given full operational freedom for forces to plan and execute India's response to Pakistan. As India stands united, the politics needs to take a back seat. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let's hear in from the political parties. Joining me this evening, Monica Mehrotra, National Spokesperson, Congress; R.P. Singh, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party; Dr. Ashutosh Verma, Spokesperson, Samajwadi Party; Krishna Hegde from the Shiv Sena. I want to cut across to Monica Mehrotra first. Monica Mehrotra, the sad part is every time you have a leader who comes out and says something, right after that, you'll have either a Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi in this particular case come out and practically apologize for your own party men, where Priyanka Gandhi, at the back of what Ajay Rai said, came out and said that the Congress stands with the government needs to act quickly, and that's all she had to say. Why is it, Monica Mehrotra, that even though there is a gag order, even though there is a party whip, nobody is quite listening where the motor mouths of the Congresses are concerned?
I think, Preeti, you've got it all wrong. Day one, in fact, the Congress and the Alliance, day one, stood up very strongly and vociferously and said, no, we urge the government to take action and we stand with it. This is no time for politics. But tell me one thing, if the visuals of Nimbu Mirchi, let's not get into that, but other visuals, let's start with demonetization. Preeti ji, what did the Prime Minister say? Mujhe 90 din de dijiye. So people participated. He said terrorism will stop. So, I mean, and then came COVID. He said, thali piye sab pito and all that. People participated. Now when the people are participating, now when the people are voicing their opinion, that Prime Minister Modi, when you were the Chief Minister, you were asking the ruling party then that these questions, pertinent questions. Now, if the Congress and the people are asking the question, despite the fact that I reiterate, that we stand with the government because this is it. High time. Pulwama came and, 400 kg RDX, no answers given. So that is the reason why the questions are raised. And these questions are very genuine, Preeti. If you're asking question, how can you label anybody, say politics? Then what do we do? If the media is not playing its role, the public and the opposition has to ask questions. I mean, you should have been the first one. By you, I mean the media. And you see, the tall claims made. We are happy that now some action is being seen. But tell me one thing, Preeti ji. Coming straight from Saudi, you do a meeting at the Hashash at the airport and you go to Bihar and the scenes are laughing. Then nothing happens to the media. Will people not question that? At least be somber. At least feel the pain the families have gone through, Preeti ji. What if it was one of our members, your member and my member? How would we have felt? So this is no way of reacting and telling the opposition that, okay, no politics. Every time, a genuine question. Tell me one thing, that what are we supposed to be asking? On education? On unemployment? On pricing rise?
Ma'am, the time is over and I'm going to come back to you. Fader is going to go down. I don't think you got my question on Ekamerutra. It's the opportune time and the principal opposition should always question the government, especially where accountability is concerned. Having said that, the fact is, when certain leaders play into the hands of what is Pakistan propaganda, that is troublesome. The sheer fact that no one else but Priyanka Gandhi had to come out and say that the Congress stands with the government on this. It seems that message is not quite percolating to many of your leaders, and I'll come back and give you examples of that. I want to bring in the BJP spokesperson, R.P. Singh, who'll get his 2 minutes now. R.P. Singh, the fact is, the Congress is the principal opposition, R.P. Singh. It has every right to question the government on accountability, which you did so during 26/11, rightly so, to a point where you forced the then Home Minister to step down, the then Chief Minister Vilas Rao Deshmukh to step down. It is the job of the opposition to question the government, especially in times like this. What is wrong with what the Congress or the opposition is doing? Ultimately, they are saying, we are with you, take action.
Just before this show started, you have just telecasted what are the steps being taken by the government, how the preparedness is being done by the government. And just today's action, every day there is some action or other action which is happening. But today morning I saw one of your correspondents standing at the river in Kashmir, in the Chenab River in Kashmir at Taknoor, and describing how water has been stopped and how it's going to affect the Pakistan. So either the opposition don't see that or they don't want to see that. But the problem is with the DNA. Issue is not, they can raise questions to the government. They were called for the all-party meeting where they said we support, but after that what's happening? Siddaramaiah says, we don't need war. The Chief Minister of their party, the ruling party Chief Minister said, we don't need war. Ma'am, Monica ma'am, I'll show you a lot of things. I have a lot of things to show you. If you want me to show, I have a lot of details to show you. So I'll show you that also if you want. But coming to the subject, Safaduddin says we should accept the version of the Pakistan. Pakistan is saying that they are not, they don't have a hand behind it, so we should accept their version. Another leaders who is the minister in the Karnataka government says, oh, the questions were not asked about the religion, was not asked from the people who were killed. I mean, their leader said, and then another leader in Himachal says, Pani rokne se kya hoga? What will happen with stopping the water? So, and now Ajay Rai showing that Rafale. I mean, we know what sort of drubbing Rahul Gandhi got because of the Rafale and what he said about the Rafale, and then what sort of drubbing he got from the Supreme Court of the Rafale. But coming to the issue, remember that after the abrogation of 370 and 35A, 5th of August, 6th August, Rahul Gandhi said, the bloodbath happening in Kashmir. And he was quoted no less than Imran Khan in UN Assembly. So they are looking for some sort of coverage in just no show.
So your time is up. Your fader is going to automatically go down. I'm going to bring in the Samajwadi Party spokesperson on this. Dr. Ashutosh Verma, once again, it is the responsibility of the opposition to ask for accountability, to make sure heads roll. What happened if there was a failure where intelligence was concerned? All of that is the job of the opposition, and we are glad that you're doing it. But the minute you bring in jibes like the Rafale in this case with the Nimbu or Mirchi, or gaslight the survivors with certain Congress leaders like Mr. Watedar has done from Maharashtra, suggesting that terrorists don't have time to ask for religion, that's where the problem comes in. That's why the BJP then attacks the opposition, seeming to suggest playing into the hands of Pakistani propagandists.
I agree, Preeti, and I think both politically and rationally, it's a wrong message that Congress party has given. Because I feel personally, and Samajwadi Party.
Sir, we can't hear you. There seems to be we've lost your audio. We seem to have lost.
Am I audible?
Yeah, now you're audible. Go ahead, sir. Start.
So I personally think this is a time when whole of the country, including the opposition, have to pay their solidarity with the government of India. And this is not time to make this debate like this. And unfortunately, Congress is doing. I think this should be avoided. But the question has always been there, and the question can't be ruled out. I'm just hearing about the Bharatiya Janata Party's spokesperson accusing us. But if you think about the history in 26/11 events, the Narendra Modi, then the CM of Gujarat, come at the Trident Hotel and done the press conference and expose the government and says this is a total failure and the government of India is not in a condition to defend our country. So this was their history, and now they are attacking on opposition. But personally, I feel this is a time. This is not a time to do all these things. But we do agree that Bharatiya Janata Party government and the government of India is not proactive. They are doing a lot of courses we are seeing, but definitely the question is there. We have seen today a reel of Bharatiya Janata Party leader Ravindra Raina with 12 or 15 soldiers. They are playing in the snow. Is it rational at that time? This is sad that this reel has been propagated right this time. Even today, Preeti, you have seen that the whole of the right wingers and the Bharatiya Janata Party IT cells, including most of the leaders, are now trolling Himanshi Narwal, and that was a shameful across the country. I am very shocked that how this is happening in country like India, when a widow who lost her husband 7 days after her marriage in a brutal attack due to incompetent government.
So your time is up. I'll come back to you. Your time is up. Your 2 minutes are over. I'll circle back to you. Well, Himanshi Narwal and the backlash she's got is our second debate this evening, but I want to bring in Krishna Hegde, spokesperson. I just want to quickly raise a red flag where Congress Onika Mehrotra is concerned. Ma'am, the fact is you just heard your own ally who gets your back every time when we are on debates has seemingly suggested that the party, which is the Samajwadi Party, doesn't quite agree with some of your leaders and in the way that they've been speaking out. I'll come back to you. Allow me to bring in Krishna Hegde, spokesperson Shiv Sena. Krishna Hegde, sir, you very well remember what happened during 26/11, and that was the time where the BJP went after the Congress government on accountability like every principal opposition should have. The Home Minister stepped down, the then Chief Minister Vilas Rao Deshmukh stepped down. This is the job of the opposition, a constructive opposition. Nothing is wrong in criticizing the government, asking for accountability.
No, absolutely not, Preeti. And I'll tell you that in 26/11, it is we Mumbaikars who bore the brunt of the terrorist attack and lost several of our friends. And therefore, we are deeply pained by that. And if the Bharatiya Janata Party, then as the premium opposition party, has asked for accountability, I think they have done perfectly right. But now, when the Congress is speaking, just talk about Vijay Wadetiwar. What did he say? He is questioning religion. He speak about Imran Masood. He says again that give me 1 hour. He speak about Ajay Rai talking about Nimbu and Mirchi. These are very insensitive statements. They have no basis. They have no power in their statements. They are trying to just criticize the government for some, lapse which they don't even know about. Let me tell you, the entire country is with the Prime Minister. The entire country is with the government. World leaders are with the Prime Minister and the government. and it is the Congress party who is talking in a different voice. I'm very happy that the Samajwadi party is endorsing the stand of the government. But see what Mr. Vadra said. Similarly, if Ajay Rai is talking about Nimbu and Mirchi, he should first ask his own leader whether Rahul Gandhi, whether he has tied Nimbu and Mirchi to the Congress, because under his leadership, Congress has lost 90 elections, and in states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Gujarat, and so many other places, they have not been in power for the last 40 years. And when the Congress spokesperson speaks about the Prime Minister's role in COVID, she should know exactly it's the Prime Minister who saved crores of lives, not only of our own countrymen, but also of people of different countries. And therefore, I think the Prime Minister has given liberty to the armed forces to take prompt and decisive action at the right time, and they are doing exactly that. And I think action will follow soon, and the country is anticipating and awaiting that.
All right. Okay. You know, your time is up. I'm going to give all our panelists 2 minutes again to make their points of view clear. I will bring in the Congress spokesperson. And the question, Ms. Monica Mehrotra, that I asked, nothing is wrong in raising credible questions that one should ask the government. But when one resorts, to jibes, to mimicry, to look at, what Ajay Rai is doing, all of that, is not needed at this point of time. The sheer fact the Samajwadi Party on this show, which is a rare, site, has completely distanced themselves from the Congress.
Well, Preeti, you are showing Ajay Rai and others. Did you show the first tweet that came from Jharkhand BJP's handle?
Yes, ma'am, we did a full show on it.
Huh? That was not wrong.
I'm coming in. I'd like to stop your timer because I'd like to stop your timer, ma'am. And the reason I'm doing so is because I want to come in. Because it's great to turn around and get into whataboutery. Did you? You've got into it. Let me tell you, a full show was carried. A full show was carried on the same. Go ahead, make your point.
All right. What about this, ma'am? His own BJP's Adhyaksh of Jammu Kashmir having a gala time with the security personnel. Wasn't the security needed then, the 2,000 people there? So day one, it is the Congress who said we stand by the government, but action has to be taken. 10 days, 15 days down the line, this is what you do. And if you ask question, you come about with what about you said with Ajay Rai's picture or somebody else's picture. What is the media's role in it? The people of this nation is asking questions. Now, on a phone call, you say, Modi ji ne Ukraine ki war rukwa di. You talk about 56-inch Sina and all the stuff. So where is action? Now, if I start taking out the list, it goes on and on, man, from Kandahar, Kargil, then Sansad pe Hamla, Akshardham Mandir, all this under BJP rule. Then Amarnath Yatri, Godra Ghat, Pathankot, and then Pulwama to Pelgam. These are the kind of hamlas we were taken under BJP's rule. And no action, nothing, no response. And then you say that, oh, you're getting into all these things. I agree, you should not be doing that. Because it's a matter of great concern of the security of civilians. You allow people to go up without any police or any patrolling, nothing there. And then you say they were closed, we don't know when the doors are open. So these things come in, and to deviate from the basic issue, you come in. Yes, it is wrong, we should not be doing that. But does that give you any leverage to not to talk about that? Does that give you leverage to on the very day you go to Bihar? Does that give you leverage of not going to Manipur, ma'am? So these are the questions we want to ask. These things should not happen. Yes, here and there, these leaders who represent the party, I agree wholeheartedly we should not be doing it. But then does that dilute the whole issue? Or are we going to link it on that aspect?
Okay. I'm going to come right back to you if we have the time. I want to bring in R.P. Singh into this conversation. There's a good point, R.P. Singh, that has been raised by Monica Mehrotra as well as the Samajwadi Party spokesperson, though they don't agree on what Ajay Rai has spoken. But the sheer fact that you have the likes of Mr. Raina frolicking around in the snow with army personnel at this point of time, which is highly sensitive, I hope you have the heart and the gumption to criticize your own.
Well, Raina has a cover because of his role which he plays in the Jammu Kashmir. So he's got that cover. But just come to the issue where my friend Monica Mehrotra ji was talking about the attacks.
Sir, I will halt your timer, and I'll give you enough time. We've just, what we have just found out, yes, he has a security cover, but those who were with him then were army personnel. Army doesn't guard Mr. Raina, sir. The army doesn't. Once again, your timing starts now, sir. Go ahead, make your point.
Check, but coming to the issue, 4,466 attacks happened in 10 years of the UPA regime, starting from Ajmer, Pune, Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and many a times in Delhi. I'm not talking about Jammu Kashmir, I'm talking about the rest of the country. Every week there used to be bomb blasts. We never heard about serious bomb blasts. And that also happened, that in various cities put together. So who's talking? And now things are much, much better. What was the state of Kashmir? I mean, Kashmir, every day there used to be a charter of these terrorists, that this how this day the Kashmir will close, this day the market will close. It's not happening. The stone pelting has gone. So the things are much, much, much better. And also, remember Fali Major Saab, Fali Homi Major Saab, the air chief during 26/11, he requested and pleaded the Prime Minister that let's allow us to attack Pakistan. No, don't do that. Rather, PM Saab went to Sharm el Sheikh and said, oh, poor Pakistan. They also suffer from terrorism. Oh, they are like us. So let's not blame Pakistan. And same language, even their leaders are speaking now. They are still their leaders. The Sofadin Sos or the Channis or the Siddhar Ramayyas, they still speak the same language. Actual problem with them is that they are not seeing with the right number of glasses, the glasses with the right number. I mean, they're not seeing how Pakistan is panicked today. How much money Pakistan has spent only on shifting their armed forces from one place to other. So they can't see it, they won't see it. And the reason is very clear, they are being fed by Pakistan.
Okay, sir, your time is up. I want to bring in the Samajwadi Party spokesperson, Dr. Ashutosh Verma. You made that claim where you showed me that picture, and so did Ms. Onika Malhotra, of Ravinder Raina in the snow. He's also referred to that same tweet which was made on a Congress handle, which politically either of you are speaking of, where he says that this was a video which was shot all the way in January, has absolutely nothing to do in the current context, Dr. Ashutosh Verma.
Though it is a old video, but I just want to concur that the Bharatiya Janata Party has a great security lapse of the government, because at Pahalgam there was no soldiers, and a person in the Bharatiya Janata Party has 20 soldiers around. And this is the irony of the Indian Kashmiris and in Indian society, that if the person is from the Bharatiya Janata Party, he gets desperate security. And 2,000 tourists are there in the valley. We have quite intel, but there was no soldiers. The question has to be raised. But Preeti, now this is the time when we have to test our leaders also. It is a time when we have to test our society also, what they are doing. Definitely, we don't do anything so that the enemy country got a chance to attack on us. But there has something which has to be think by the Bharatiya Janata Party leader. The Ghibli image, Jati nahi dharm pooch ke pucha, they are not promoting the intention of ISI and Pakistan, which Pakistan are trying to increase the communal tension in between the Indians and Hindu and Muslims. I think Bharatiya Janata Party has done nothing to stop all this. At least Prime Minister Modi has said 2 words to their leaders: don't dilute the, don't promote the communal tension among the Indians. But he has no time. He has a time to reach the Bihar to attend the rally. He has a time to go to different states, to Andhra Pradesh to inaugurate, but he has no time to talk with the Indians. And this is the problem of Bharatiya Janata Party. They don't think about. He can come at 8 November 2017 to do a notebandi, but he has not a single time to discuss what they have, what we are feeling about our country, what the 26 families are feeling about. And this is the problem of Bharatiya Janata Party. They are only discussing about the politics. They are discussing, in the mid of all these things, they are discussing about the caste census. Now, this is the irony. We support caste census, but at this high peak time, the government of India and the Union Ministry...
Sir, your time is up. That video that both of them, the Samajwadi Party and the Congress was speaking of, is on our television screen, viewers. Congress tweeted it out, suggesting misplaced priorities, where you have Ravinder Raina from the Bharatiya Janata Party practically frolicking in the snow. Mr. Raina has refuted, quoting the same tweet and saying this is from January 2025 and nothing to do with the current context. Just want to put context there. I want to bring in Krishna Hegde. Krishna Hegde, the question today is very clear, Krishna Hegde. While you accuse the Congress of playing into the Pakistan propaganda in Pakistan, you also have a problem where your own allies some from your party, some from the BJP, are playing into the Pakistan propaganda, into this side of the divide, which is India, by fostering an environment of communal hatred, by tweets or by certain amount of messaging or commentary, doing exactly what Pakistan would want in India. So why is it so difficult for the Shiv Sena to call that out, even if it concerns your ally? Why is suddenly, allies have become so scared of each other?
Preeti, I think all the 40 allies of the NDA are firmly with the Prime Minister, and there is no ambiguity about that. Let me tell you that, I am very shocked what the Samajwadi spokesperson just said, that the Prime Minister should leave all his work, all the governance, and sit at home just because the Samajwadi spokesperson wants him to do that. The country has to run whether we are at war or no. And therefore, the Prime Minister is doing his routine work on a day-to-day basis. And hats off to the Prime Minister for doing that. Secondly, let me tell you, the Congress tweet on the Honorable Prime Minister was so derogatory, and they have not even apologized for that. Is Congress trying to echo the voice of Pakistan, or is Congress trying to stand by the government, is what I want to ask the Congress party here. Look at all your leaders and their statements. It looks more like you are supporting Pakistan than your own government here. And
Krishna Hegde, you're making a fair point. I just want to stop your timer, and I want to make a quick interjection. Agree with what you're saying, and let's say that this is what the opposition is doing, playing into Pakistan propaganda. Aren't some of your own ally leaders playing into the Pakistan propaganda on this side by fostering communal hatred in terms of tweets and commentary? Why is it so difficult to call that out? Go ahead, sir.
No. Preeti, let me tell you that the video which was circulated by the family member of the person who was killed by the terrorist has clearly said that the terrorist asked regarding the religion. And therefore, if anyone speaks about religion and speaks, don't you think there is a sentiment, a public sentiment in the country? And therefore, people have, like the leaders of every government have the right to voice their opinion. The people of our country also have a right to voice their opinion. And this is a public sentiment which is in the minds of the people. That
what is the public sentiment, sir?
The public sentiment is the terrorists who have shot Hindus, and they have shot them with a reason. And it was about religion and nothing else. That is the public sentiment. It is not just an ordinary, terrorist walking and shooting 1,000 people or 300 people. It was firmly targeted that you are a Hindu and you are shot. And that is what I want to make the point.
Sir, 1 second. That's not public sentiment. That's a fact. That's a truth that they were communally profiled and they were shot because they were Hindus. My question was very clear, Krishna Hegde, and that question stemmed from all of those who are trying to leverage with what happened was a completely outright political communal profiling of tourists and trying to leverage it by attacking Muslims and Kashmiris across the country. And if that is public sentiment, then that needs to be condemned immediately, Krishna Hegde. Just want to make that clear. All right, with that, that's all the time that we have for now. Apologies to all of you. We want to quickly move into our next debate. Thank you for joining us. On the other side, we're going to shift focus because earlier on, viewers, this one woman with one picture became the poster girl, if I might say, or the tragic face of the Pahalgam terror attack. And today, suddenly, to some, especially on social media, she's an anti-national. Why? We'll tell you. Because in turn, what she's really done is expose bigotry and bigots in our country.
One single image that will forever be burnt into every Indian's memory space. That moment of heartbreak that India will forever bear the weight in grief. This image of Himanshi Narwal had the world rallying around her in empathy. In sympathy to lose her husband of just 5 days, where forever together was a promise. Plunged in grief, in disbelief, to embrace the pain with utmost grace. To see her life shift from the 7 Feras around the sacred fire with him, to see him being claimed by his funeral pyre. Himanshi Narwal has seen in 7 days what many will see in a lifetime. The anger, the angst, and the agony could have resulted in utmost hate. For her husband was singled out not for being in the armed forces, but for being Hindu. If Himanshi had channeled her pain to hate a community, many would have not grudged her lived experience. But Himanshi Narwal, in her first interaction with the media, sent out one message. A message of peace, a message to not communally profile hate, even though she herself was a victim of that.
People going against Muslims or Kashmiris, we don't want this. We want peace and only peace.
Stating to not target Muslims or Kashmiris at the back of what had happened. While her grace, her maturity was welcomed by many, Himanshi Narwal was hit by a wave of hate by anonymous and some right-wing handles on the social media platform X, vilifying her, attacking her life as a student, character assassinating her, slander. A target for online hate. The face of Pahalgam's terror in a matter of minutes was deemed an anti-national. Support for Himanshi was quick to come, cutting across the ideological divide. The National Commission of Women also stepping in, taking suo motu cognizance, saying attacking Himanshi was unacceptable. Those who seemingly grieved with Himanshi turned against her, exposing their hypocrisy, that their empathy was nothing but political convenience. Top focus on To The Point this evening.
Because when that one image of Himanshi sitting with her dead husband at that meadow came to light, that became the image of the Pahalgam attack. A tidal wave of empathy, sympathy, support for her came through, as it should have. That wave very quickly receded, with a lot now turning on her for saying what she did, calling her anti-nationals. What did Himanshi Narwal say? Don't attack Muslims or Kashmiris at the back of what happened. That's misplaced anger. Did she deserve what she got, especially on social media? Well, we'd like to pick that up, this particular To The Point edition. I have with me Lalita Kumar Mangalam, former chairperson, NCW, Brinda Dige, women rights activist, Dr. Ranjana Kumari, former NCW chairperson, Director, Center for Social Research. I want to cut across first to Ms. Kumara Mangalam. Lalita Kumara Mangalam, the fact is, most or 99% of that hate that we've seen come to this young girl has come through the medium of social media and many anonymous handles. Something that I would reckon one must, call out publicly at that, because the same handles were in full support of this young woman, practically lifting her up to be the icon of the terrible tragedy and quickly pulling her down as an anti-national.
Yeah, Preeti, first let me say that regardless of whether one approved of, agreed with what she said, etc., tearing apart a young woman, especially one who's been through such terrible trauma, tearing apart her personal life, attacking her personally, is not done. I think as a nation, we need to show more empathy and more sympathy for people who've been through such a rough time. Now, let's also not forget that unfortunately, social media is brutal. It's really brutal. It's mean, it's unfair, it's many other words that I really can't use publicly on television. And I think at this time, many people in this country are just fed up with what Pakistan, it has been toying with us. Much of that anger has boiled over into the scorn and the ridicule and all the nonsense that was thrown at this young woman. We should have not done it. But, and I'm not saying that I agree with what has been said, I have never agreed of a woman's personal life being attacked. It's nobody's business. We don't do it to men. Why on earth do we do it to women? on a more general note. In this particular case, she deserved her space. I mean, okay, fine. Many people did not agree with what she said in her second statement. But one has to make allowances also for the fact that she's a young girl who's been through hell and back, doesn't know what's going to happen, what's going to hit her in the face in her coming life. I mean, at the age of 20, the wrong side of 20s, let me say, or rather the right side, the early 20s, just a couple of weeks after you got married, first you go through that horror, and horror is a very mild word. And then, you know, her first off-the-cuff statement came from her grief, etc. The second one, maybe somebody asked her to say it in order to play down what was happening, the fear of war. India and Pakistan cannot go to war. I mean, you know, really, it'll be disastrous. So, keeping that in mind, I think
Ms. Kumar Mangalam, I'd suggest you don't say that, because then you have Mr. Siddaramaiah, who, because of saying India and Pakistan don't need war,
targeting that they did. It's not correct. It should not be done.
Right. I want to bring in Dr. Ranjana Kumari as well. Dr. Ranjana Kumari, many of these handles are not actually anonymous handles. Many of these handles are right-wing, bona fide trolls who, some of them, sadly, are being followed by very big leaders in the dispensation.
Well, Preeti, I think this is the most shameful, most insensitive cowardice that we are witnessing online, and people taking, just hiding behind anonymity. They don't even have the courage to put their names in front. And what is wrong in a woman saying that whose husband was already murdered in front of her own eyes, and she does not want this to be played out in a particular manner. That's her idea. I think women are by and large very compassionate, and she imagining so many more women. When men die in wars, husbands die, sons die, they would die in wars, and the women who suffer and who are at home suffering and suffer for whole of their life, they're condemned for whole of their life. So if that is the situation, then if she thinks that, it should not be flared up, it should not lead to a war, what is wrong? What is wrong in talking about the peace? So I think she has been targeted by these cowards, shameless. It's time that we should stop it, and such handles should be, you should have had the law already to really start, weaning out such kind of elements, because people like us are facing it day in and day out, calling us whatever they feel like, and you can't even reach out to them because they don't have any identity that they present.
But not, that's the point. And Brinda Adigi, I want to bring you in on this because we're running out of time. I wanted, more time for this debate, but sadly we had news break. But these are, yes, a lot of them are anonymous handles, but a lot of them aren't, Brinda Adigi.
I can't hear you very well, but what I got a gist of is this kind of trolling, and because it is a woman calling for peace between Muslims and Hindus and all Indians, this is nothing new. But what we want to ask question is it because she is a woman and she is calling out people? The narrative of hatred, and that too bigoted hatred, is being called out by a Navy officer's wife. Are you angry because of that? She's a defense officer's wife, and she is saying that this hatred is unacceptable. And she is the one who has lost the most. None of us can even comprehend her pain and her sorrow. And if this is the trolling that is happening, let us keep in mind it is also because of impunity. They know that they can hide behind the facade of various names on Twitter and elsewhere, and nobody is going to get caught. They are not going to get punished. But we have not yet seen any of the political leaders come out against those people who are trolling her, who are maligning her name, taking out old photographs and putting it on social media. Is all of this not violation of the available IT rights, but also of the laws that protect women?
Fair point. I appreciate, I'm running out of time. Fair point. Apologies. I wanted to get three of you in again, but that's all the time we have for now. But we leave it at that because there might be anonymous handled and a whole slew of them, but there are also many who a lot of us follow. some of them being followed by very big leaders. And if you're one of them who follows one of these handles which is going after this young woman, think about how you're aiding it.